How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of King's Tales, the podcast series where we help you transform trauma into triumph. Today, I got a very special guest joining me. He's an artist, he's a business owner, he's a creative, and he's endured a lot. He has a very, very powerful story, and I can't wait for him to share a little bit about himself. So, without further ado, Mr. Kelvin Laosebikan.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Just thank you so much, Mr. Rex, for having me on the show. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Just knowing you personally and just knowing your business as well. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to get this flowing because a little context. We've been trying to get this scheduled for about 8 to 10 months, and every single time we finally get something on the books, something comes up. So it's finally good to be in person and actually do this. So I'm excited. And we were talking a little bit before this, like kind of just piggybacking off of that conversation. Like, isn't it crazy how insane progress is? Like, you start doing something you don't really expect like much because it's new for you, right? No one else has started a business like you have. No one else is an artist like you are. So like, how, like, when you finally started, when you took that leap of faith, like, where was your head at? Like, and how did you keep yourself focused on the goal at hand?
What made me take that leap of faith, right? I had a business that started back in 2020. I was just trenched out clothing.
Yep.
I did that for a little bit, and then I had stopped because I was getting around in Greek life, getting up somewhere. I had a goal in Greek life to be the dean, and also there was just other stuff that stopped me from that. I was doing music at the time, so like I did that. And then I had stopped music, everything, and just wanted to focus on trying to propose to the missus and do that and kind of work to put and invest all that in the ring.
Yep.
And then like in 2023, I was having a conversation with her and she was just like, you just don't need to give up on everything and just be so laser focused. Because one thing about me, when I'm laser focused on one thing, I kind of block out the noise on everything else.
Right.
So when I did that, it's like I kind of like went into like a little depression, like kind of in a sense, like, and because like music was my outlet to express myself. I would write here and there, and then like my clothing business, I really wanted to pursue that, but then I kind of just put it to the side and the back burner. So I was just like, my wife was telling me, don't give up on that. So what I did with that is I took a leap of faith, reactivated everything, started another business on top of the slushies. And the slushies was a risk in itself because I just invested it into it, not knowing like the good or bad of it. But I just did, because I believed in something and I just picked it up.
Yeah. And that I feel like that's that could be like really encouraging for someone that's tuning in, because one thing that I literally was doing some studying earlier this week, and sometimes we create a concept, we come up with an idea, and we're so in love with the concept that sometimes we don't have enough faith to act when it comes time to create it.
Facts.
And people that have heard we'll hear later on how you got to this point. They'll realize, okay, I have the concept. It's either I start it or I don't. And good things come out of starting stuff, right? Like if you wouldn't have started trenched out clothing, if you wouldn't have started creating music, if you wouldn't have started Yin Yang, where would you like? And that's something that I try to like think about too. Like, if I didn't start this podcast series, where would I be right now?
Definitely.
So sometimes things require us to step out on faith and just act and not worry about the rest, and just like you said, focus but not laser focus, right?
Definitely. And then that's the thing. Like, we try to, like, I believe in life. Anybody can be anything they want to be in life. As long as you put the effort towards it and you sacrifice and you put your time into it, you'll get to where you need to be. I look at, when Lams was just in here, he's put effort, and I've seen him over the years progress with his photography, and he ended up at the BET Awards. That's dope to me.
Yeah.
Like, I know one guy, he is an alpha from DSU. He was boxing. He is now he went for his first ever pay-per-view match up in Newark, New Jersey yesterday. It is possible for anybody to do anything they put their mind to. That's just what it is. Like, you can do anything, but you have to put the effort behind it. It's just like, if you have a concept or a vision with no action, it's just a dream.
Yep.
That just flies away.
Yep.
But you can make it happen, because you know how dreams come and go? That's the same way if we don't take action on those things.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm so glad that you said that, because another thing that I was thinking about is the scripture from Habakkuk, like, write the vision and make it plain so that those that see it can run with it. So sometimes, like, you have an idea, but like, and I'm guilty of this. Like, I have all the ideas in the world, but I am horrible at writing out, like, the action plan and setting goals. So, like, and the goals will help you stay accountable so that you know what it is that you're striving for, even if you're around in an environment currently where other people aren't doing what you're doing. Like, sometimes you have to be the pioneer that takes that first step, that first leap of faith, so that you can set the example for other people that come behind you. Definitely. And I wanted to piggyback, because we did have that conversation with Lons prior to starting the recording. How important has it been for you to get out of your immediate circle of support, like the people that we're familiar with, to really allow your business to grow and for you to network and put yourself out there?
I think that's the part that I've went wrong with business all these years, and I'm trying to work above that and get out of that, because the thing is that your friends are, in a perfect world, we would want all our friends to support us, but it's not going to be that way. Our friends have different likes, different dislikes, and things like that, and their dislike may be your business. It may not be their cup of tea, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, you need to build with those strangers, because at the end of the day, people are people. Like, they're going to see what the strangers like and see that the strangers are rocking it, and then they're just going to do it just because the strangers are doing it. But my thing is, like, friends, like, they don't support sometimes the way you want them to. So I get outside of that circle and just move how I need to move, and make plans and stuff like that. My biggest thing was not listening to my wife, because my wife had suggested this when I first started it. Hey, try to get outside your circle, try to network with these different people and see what you can do. But my problem is that I was so laser focused, and I'm trying to get to all these Greek events. I had it in my mind that, hey, I'm gonna become the top vendor for all these Greek events, but sometimes I sell myself too short. I look at a small picture when there's a bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I look at a bigger picture. I look at just one piece when there's so much to the puzzle. Like, and that's just been my downfall. But I'm now realizing that, and sometimes I get in my feelings. I'm like, man, like, this is not working out. But it's not working out because that's not where I'm supposed to be. God sometimes shows us that, hey, this is where you're supposed to be, and sometimes we take that hard, that hard, like, how does it say, that easy right, instead of that, that hard right. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I know I said it, the easy wrong, whatever it is. You get either way.
I got you.
Like, that easy right. It's easy, but it's not right.
Yeah.
And it's meant. If life is not meant to be easy, life is supposed to be filled with obstacles. So it's like, now I'm trying to look at different things on how to market my business and become more marketable. Like, working on more of getting, certain licenses and permits, because that's what you need to do to get out to these outside people, because, our Greek events, nothing against Greek life. I love Greek life, but, there's certain things like permits and things like that. And there's only a certain amount of a crowd that you're going to get at a Greek event, right? And then at these other events that, maybe I could, get into, there's a different type of crowd. So it's like, I haven't tapped into that crowd. So at first I was discouraged. I've been very discouraged. I went to the Juneteenth event. And like, I had set up late, and then it rained, and I didn't make any money that day. But it was humbling for me to understand. It's just like, hey man, it comes and goes with the territory. This is not this is not going to be the only Juneteenth event that they have. You're going to have more, and you're going to have more time to build on yourself. Make people want to know that, hey, when Yenya is coming in town, oh no, they coming with the business. They coming with that fire. You know, they coming with something different. But I blame myself in terms of getting myself outside the circle. I know I didn't answer the question, but
oh no, you're doing it.
I'm working on building our brand up so the very next season we come out, and I'm big on posting the Instagram posts like, oh, we coming and stuff like that. I don't want to post anything. I want us to be correct until it's right, because my thing with me is I have a vision for my clothing brand and my drink business, and it's not lived up to it. So now, instead of just putting it out just to show some content, I want to put it out when it's right. So that's my biggest thing, not being rushed, because sometimes we tend to let social media, make us run faster than we need to. And I'm one of those people. I'm just honest with that. Sometimes I think that, hey, I see certain things and I'm like, damn, and I looked at my page the other day. The only thing that I get on myself is like, wow, I got like 100 and something followers, and I've had this business for about 2 years, and I had this business for 4. So it's like, I got to do more now in terms of that, because in my head, I believe that, hey, I can at least have these followers and get more followers, but it comes with time. Not everybody is going to cling on with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why when I see certain people say that, yo, I get no support, and I see them doing all these things, I see their followers growing. I'm like, man, what are you talking
about?
What are you talking about, man? Like, you winning right now. Like, y'all are really winning right now. Like, y'all don't. And I don't think, and I know that support, like, I can't judge a person because support is support.
Yeah.
Like, it might be in different ways, and a person may look at support and just be like, yeah, I don't feel supported, and support comes in different forms for everybody. So I can't judge and say that this person, what are you talking about, at the same time, because I don't know what their situation is.
Yeah. Yep. Very well said, because I feel like sometimes too, when you're in that space, where you're trying to grow, you can't compare your journey to anyone else's. Because I went to the Future Insiders Philly event last month, and I got a lot of good value from the presenters, the organizers, even some of the vendors that were out there. Like, you have to realize that this is your journey, and unfortunately, the culture that we're in right now, everything is, we put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and you have 1 million followers, a million subscribers. You're getting 6 figures in revenue monthly. You're looking at the Kai Cenats, you're looking at the speeds, you're looking at the Thai Littles, and you start to compare yourself. But then you have to remind yourself, like, all right, their mission statement is completely different from what it is that I'm setting out to do. Their vision is completely different from what it is that I'm setting out to do. And you just have to lock in and remember that this is your journey.
Facts.
And there was something that you had mentioned earlier when you were talking, how when we're around the people that we're familiar with, sometimes they're not gonna support in the way that you would imagine. And I think one of the things that I really had to learn, especially like, bro, 5 years, almost 5 years now of doing a podcast, which is insane. Like, just thinking about,
very crazy, very crazy.
But throughout the whole time, the people that have been consistently supporting me have been people that I didn't start the journey with, like people that I've picked up along the way that I've either interviewed or talked to or have listened into, and that has helped me tremendously, because I'm like, okay, just because you're familiar with family and friends, sometimes they're not gonna see the value in what it is that you're doing, especially when you're the first person doing it. So to them, this is all foreign. Yeah. But when you get around other people that are in the rooms that you want to be in, that are working towards the goals that you have, and people that are, even if it isn't monetary investment, but like they're pouring into you with new wisdom and knowledge and resources, now you're in a place where, okay, all right, it is possible, it is doable, I can do it. Yeah. It's just a matter of being consistent and showing up.
I just think, like, I like to think that, and that's my thing, and it's like I think about it in my head all the time, that people are not supposed to support you, right? Mm-hmm. But then I think friends and family should be your biggest supporters. It's like I can say that, but then I have another side that says, hey, I think that friends and family should support you, because my thing is that we got to build each other up. There's nobody else that's going to build you up. And my thing, sometimes I think that, damn, If people aren't supporting me, do I have the right people around me to grow?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because that thing is everything to me. If you hang around a whole bunch of unproductive people, you will be unproductive. You hang around around a bunch of people who are snakes, you will become a snake, or you're a snake by association.
Yep.
You know, you hang around people that complain and woe it's me over everything, you will be a woe it's me type of person.
Right.
So that's my thing now. I try not to, like at the same time with friends and family, I love them, but I try to keep so many people at a distance, for me. And it's nothing negative. I'm, going to say like, I keep like in terms of the frat, I've given everything to the frat. There's sometimes where it has not given me everything I wanted back, but I blame myself because it was so much of my involvement in there, and then I have missed out on business opportunities and things like that because the people I surrounded myself. It's not everyone in the frat. It was just certain people I surrounded myself with, and I was looking out for, constantly, that just didn't give back. Like I have certain, things that I've done for people and certain sacrifices I've made for people to be good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they did not return a favor. And, sometimes in life we say that, we don't expect something to do this, but sometimes you expect some level of respect or some level of loyalty coming from that. It's not everybody, like I think that most of our chapter does a good job of that, like us as a whole, but like outside of that, and even sometimes inside, like, I know it's always not the easiest, we're family, but outside, I want to say that's what I'm talking about. Like outside, I've given to many, and I felt like it was either a slap on the face, a butt to kiss, and I just think that when you put your business out there to people who don't believe in it in the first place, and people might just be buying the stuff because, oh yeah, I'm just trying to be nice. And then you see them supporting other brands and other things like that, and then when it comes to your brand, they don't even tag you in it. They have the shirt on. They don't tag you in it. And it's just like, man, like, what's going on, man? Like, like I wouldn't do this to you. Like, I really be thinking sometimes when I have such a big heart and I be wondering, man, I would not do this to this type of person. Like, like when I don't get invited to certain places, right, or certain events, I even be contemplating in my head, man, I can't even do this to this person. I got to invite them, or I got to do this for this person. So sometimes I think that it's sometimes great to be alone. To when it comes to your businesses or just you in general, because you won't feel that type of burden or you won't feel guilty. Because sometimes when you have that big heart, you just feel guilty over it. But I tend now to look at it as like I don't want to feel guilty moving forward. I want to protect my energy. My boy said it last night. I was just with him yesterday. Before I left, we had this long talk, and he's grown so well. Dude. And just one thing he told me before I left, make sure to protect your energy. And it's like just to see what God has done with him, just from where he started and how much he's grown into this person he is. Like sometimes when he talks now, it's like, damn, just to see his growth and to see where he's going with his music. He dropped a mental health tape. And just
that job was tough.
To see how he talks and just the things that he is working on himself, I'm proud of him. People like that, like, when you've done things for, not to go off topics, like to give I was trying to tell him so many things for years, and it's like just to see him acting on it, but on some more, those are the people that I'm glad that I was around and I took the time out just to pour it into, you know what I mean? He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, but it's always love. Like, I'm proud of him just to see what he's doing, but I say that thing is like, people like that, that's productive. He's doing things right now. He was one of the reasons why I got back into music. Like one of the reasons, because I was like, man, he really was consistent with dropping tapes. He's never gone a year without dropping some form of a project or song. So I'm like, man, I'm seeing him do it, and I'm seeing my boy Monte do it. His name is Pull Up Tay, one of my bros that I made a song with, and we grew up together. Got extremely like close right now. We were not close back in school. Like I knew him, he knew me. we were, semi talk to each other sometimes. But then when I got back around Maryland, when I moved, we just made one song and then we just clicked. And, I got around productive people. I see him, what he's doing, I see what Duel's doing, and it just made me want to work and get on my stuff and get my stuff together, because you got to see people that you get around with. I may not be with everybody every day, but when I look up and I see something, they're dropping music. They're, giving me gems and different things. So I'm grateful for that. And just my wife as well. My wife is another person I'm surrounded with that is loving.
Yep.
And has pushed me to be better every day with music. So it's like business, music, everything. That's an example. Like, you just got to be around the right group of people that are just not unproductive and like to talk about people and sit around all day. People that can give you advice and encourage you to be better. So,
that was really good, bro. With now, of course, you're married, and you have not only your own businesses, but a business together with your wife. For viewers that might be tuning in that are married and are kind of like on the fence about starting a business, or if they should even like do it to begin with, what's something that you would say, either a piece of advice or encouragement to, start the business?
Don't mix the two together. I think that don't mix the two together. If you're going to do it, just make sure that you're making the time to separate the two and make it understand that you guys are husband and wife. And then when you guys get to the business, leave the business over there. Don't try to mix the two together. That's a mistake that I made. We had just got married, and then I hit her with, we're starting the slushy business out of nowhere. And it was not fair to her. So I love my wife dearly. My wife is someone who will give literally her shirt off the back when it comes to me. Like, she doesn't play about me. She doesn't play about family.
Right.
And I love my wife. My wife always tells me the truth, whether I want to hear it or not. And I don't, I got some of y'all that, come and tell me that, but I'm with her every day.
Yeah.
So my wife has been telling me things since the day I got with her. I love my wife to death. I love the beautiful person she is. That's the person that I want to start my family with. I want to be with for the rest of my natural born life, because my wife has me.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find partners that are going to stick beside you and constantly tell you the truth and not just, pat you and be like, oh, no, you got this. Or no, she's going to hold you accountable and tell you, yo, you should have never been doing this. You should have never been doing that. You got to move different, So that's the mistake that I made, that my wife is an excellent business partner. I love my wife to death. Like, is an excellent business partner. I'm grateful to have her around.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be in her presence, or be in her family's presence, because it's a blessing.
Yes.
Sometimes it gets tough, but it's sometimes that it always ends up that, hey, she was right in the situation. So I think that don't mix the two, but if you're going to mix the two, just be careful of how you mix it. Give it time, because we had just got married a month or two before, and then I just sprung this on her. I just felt like there should have been more time and more discussion, but she's handled it well. My wife is my mastermind behind most of my events. If you don't have somebody that can serve as something in your business or serve as something in your life that's your partner, you don't need to be with that person. Yep. It's unproductive. My wife is very productive. My wife keeps me on track when I have these things where I can go off and, lose myself. She'll just reel me back in and tell me, yo, hey, you need to do this. And you need to just move like this. And it's like, I'm learning now to try to listen to my wife more, because, sooner or later, by the grace of God, we are going to have a family, and I need to be that leader. So my wife has molded me into the man that I am today and the man that I'm becoming. She doesn't know how to be a man, because only a man can be a man, and then a woman can be a woman, but she has molded me as a partner to what I should be as a husband.
Yeah.
I'm just blessed to have her. I would never do anything to hurt her. I'm in this for the long haul with my wife, and it's nothing that anybody can tell me different of. That's just what it is. Definitely like. So yeah, I'm blessed. But I would just say don't mix the two.
Don't mix the two.
Nah.
Well, fellas, you're here to hear first. Make sure you find you a woman that can hold you down and will support you and hold you accountable, even though you might not want to hear it. And that's sometimes I need to hear that because I'm very prideful and hard headed. But I know when the time does come for me to be in that situation myself, we'll be locked in.
It's hard. Let me be honest. It's hard to sometimes find a woman, right?
Oh,
it's hard sometimes because sometimes we want that girl that just look good.
Oh yeah,
on the outside, but it's very and then we find out that she's ugly on the inside. And it's vice versa for women. Women want to find that man that got this 6-figure job, this and that, and it don't work that way. You know, like I just think that sometimes men and women can be green in that aspect.
Yeah.
And they may not understand that, or just maybe be hard-headed in the fact of you need to wait your course and let the Lord build that person for you. Or that person could be standing in front of your face, but you're ignoring God. We all like to ignore what we need versus what we want. That's what we do that a lot. We do it a lot. We ignore. I do it sometimes. I know you do it sometimes. All of us do it. What God gives us what we need.
Right when we need it.
When you have that girl that's going to tell you every single time that, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, or trying to lead. Men are afraid when women try to lead. And, like sometimes women, this is not the day and age where it's not an age where men just lead and women follow. Sometimes it's you guys lead together.
Yeah.
Sometimes the man might be 50%. Sometimes the woman might be 50%. Sometimes she might be 100%. You may still be at 50. But the thing is that you guys have to build off of each other. I don't do that thing where I used to do this thing, my wife, I feel like sometimes she don't respect me. No, she do respect me. That's why she's saying something to me. I feel like you need to be worried when your wife stops saying something to you.
Yeah.
Or your partner stops saying something to you. Husband, wife, whatever it is, stop saying something to you.
Yep.
Instead of just thinking that, I think it's very insecure when people think that, oh, my wife is against me, or my wife don't respect me, or my husband don't respect me because he's telling me stuff. We should be able to listen to each other and build off of each other. That's what marriage is about. It's a 50-50 partnership.
Yep.
It's not just I love that person, so I'm with that person. No, it's a partnership of business. The business, and everything's a business. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and it don't got to have a brand or nothing. How are we putting the money towards this? How are we paying the rent? How are we paying this bill? How are we going to make sure that the kids are good? How much money are we saving for the kids?
Yep.
It's not just about, oh, I love that person. We're going to have sex all day. And that's just what it's going to be. No, it's more than that.
Yep.
And some people want the married life, but they don't actually want it.
Oh yeah.
They want the title, but they don't want the work that comes into it. They don't want that title of what comes into it. They don't want it. They don't want it. They just want to be a husband or wife, but don't know how to be a husband or wife. Are not willing to sacrifice to be a husband or wife.
Yeah.
Because marriage, partnership, whatever it is all about sacrifice. What are you willing to give? What are you willing to give to that person? What are you willing to let go of to be with this person? Because you're not going to always be right. If you're one of those people that want to be right, then you don't want to be married or in a relationship. You want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be wrong sometimes and accept that you're wrong. Humility is key. Accountability is key. Coming in a situation and saying, hey, I'm wrong for this. Being able to stand in your shit when you're wrong. It takes effort to do that.
Yeah.
Being able to say, hey, I'm wrong, but I'm willing to work on myself. Apologies is everything. Apologizing everything. So that's just what it is. Like,
Yep. Yeah. Very, very well said. And even that everything that you just said can be applied to business ownership as well. Because like you're investing into this thing and you don't know if it's going to work out. You don't know if it's going to be worth the time. You don't know if it's going to be worth the money, but you still put into it with the hopes that you're building and investing into something that's going to return to ROI, which is a return on investment. And the more that you build on it, the more consistent you are, and the more you're willing to admit your faults, and the more you're willing to, invest in yourself and learn new concepts and new ideas and get around other people that are like you, it's going to go somewhere. You just have to be patient and consistent, like you said. So, man, that was really good. That was really good. Because I remember you had mentioned earlier too, like with we talked about the business side, but like with the artistry, it's kind of been your outlet when you've gone through stuff in your life.
Yeah.
And as children of Africans, sometimes there isn't that outlet sometimes to really talk about the things that you've gone through.
Yeah.
So with your music, how were you able to use that medium as a way to deal with some of the events that you've dealt with in your life, like from your childhood, your teenhood, even in adulthood? Like, how have you been able to channel that?
I think that I've been able to channel it by just, I don't know, like, it was kind of weird, right? Like, I rapped back in 2020, like 2014 to 2018. Then I stopped. Then I picked it back up in 2019 and stopped in 2021. And all those times I would talk about like certain life, but it's like, nah, I got to get deeper. But I have been trying to become that self from 2014 that can talk about my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And put it into a thing. I was just telling one of my best friends I met, one of my best friends I grew up with, like my right hand man, like, this is, my brother. I was telling him, like, man, like, I just had to put all this pain into a beat, and I just had to feel the beat. If I can't feel the beat and I can't hear the beat, I can't do anything with it, because I feel like I have a gift to read, like to hear certain sounds on the beat and hear certain things and kind of like run it back. Like the beat will play in my head. When I hear a good beat, the beat will keep playing in my head. Even when I'm at work, I can be working. Wow. That thing will play back in my head. And then, it just does. Like with so many things that have happened, I told myself, man, I got to put this pain in here. Like put this pain. Like I watched my brother go to jail last year, and, that turned me up. Wow. He's in jail for about 20 years.
Wow.
And it hurt me. Like, it's a lot of things that hurt me. Like, growth is key, and I just put the pain in the music. Now I put, whenever I feel like I'm going to snap or get angry, I just put it there, and I can make good music. And that's just my thing. You just put pain in there. Like with anything you do, like you just put pain into it. Like anything you do, like the podcast that you have here, you put pain into this. This is why it's moving forward. You put pain into anybody that's a photographer. They put their pain, their blood, sweat, and tears in it. So this is why it happens this way. Like this whole studio here, the owner, I know, Junior, he put a lot of effort into this. Like I see him working. I always compliment him, tell me, yo, bro, like this is dope. Like,
right.
I love what you're doing, because like you really got this studio, you got another one, and who knows what is to come. You got Limes. Like again, like I said from the beginning, like there is hard workers out here that put their time into this, into anything. So when you put your pain into it and you put your life into it, you don't try to be somebody you're not. Because one thing that I did that I made mistakes on when I was coming up with this music is like I would try to live a life that my friends lived, not what I lived. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to get real with myself and understand that like you trying to live this persona that you did as a kid, and it didn't work as a kid. So what the fuck is it gonna make it look like when you try to rap about it? It's not gonna work for you. Like you got to put your life into it, because your life, that's cool. That's what you want to want to know that you're confident in putting your product out and not unconfident. That's what it's all about. You being your authentic self to the point where of course, like we don't care what people think, but we got those viewers. We have to be realistic that may know us from somewhere or see us and, man, I know this guy, man, this cat was a punk, or I know this cat. I'm gonna pull his card. You got to be careful of that. We have to be very, very careful of that, because people can pull our card and then what, So just being your natural self and being okay with you is the most important thing. Like, I want to be myself, and I want to be who I am when I do this music. So I put my pain, I put my life, I put everything into this music. This is why it's helped me so far. Now I have 10 tracks about life and experiences and different things like that. And I'm going to keep on going and, just keep on working and keep on doing our thing. So it's just putting that pain in there. Anything you do in life, you put that pain in there, you'll always make it through.
Got it. Yeah. Great. And I key takeaways I got from that, music has become a source of therapy for you. And one of the biggest lessons that you learned is being authentic in everything that you do, because it's going to garner you the authentic respect from people instead of trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a huge, huge pandemic right now, especially, again, the social media culture that we're in right now. A lot of people want to be somebody or something that they're not. And it can be really dangerous.
Everybody wants to cloud chase and be like be a Kai Cenat or be this and that, but we don't know what it took to become a Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
We don't know the sacrifice it took to be him. So take the sacrifice to be you.
Yeah. Oh, man.
These kids want to be YNs and but that's what they call them now, and run the street like maybe their father, their uncles, or what they used to see on TV. You don't know what it took to be your father. You don't know what it took to be a 50 Cent or all these Fredo Bang or NBA Youngboy and all these guys. So we can't try to live their life, because we don't know if they live their life on edge or in fear, because you got to think anytime they turn around, they could be killed.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the enemies they've made or the beefs they've made, So everybody doesn't understand the life that some of these artists live.
Yeah.
It's okay not to be a street guy. It's okay not to catch a body or to have a gun. I think that it's so crazy that, we have to live in a culture where we all got to carry guns. We can't live in love and peace.
Yeah.
Everybody got to carry guns. And it's not to take away from anybody that has a concealed to carry company, none of that. Now, I think it's so important, to have your concealed to carry. I think it's important too, but we should not want to have to live like that in the age. I saw somebody get on their public platform and say that, it's time for us to be men with our, if you're not a man, if you don't got a weapon to protect your family. That's crazy. Everybody has this definition of what social media tells you need to be. Right? Social media tells you need to be a man by this. People are going to move off of that. They tell you you're going to be a woman like this. And then some people don't have an identity.
Yeah.
Like there's some people don't have an identity. And when they find their identity, it's like, this is nothing against anybody. When I say right now, people denounce. I have nothing wrong with when people denounce, because maybe there was something that they found their identity outside of this, and maybe this did not go with their identity that they're trying to live in their truth. And there's a way that a message that God put out to them that may be different from all of us, and tell them that, hey, you have to remove this. These two things can't coexist. So for you to be your authentic self, and sometimes some people let it go. Yeah. And it may be different other reasons. And then sometimes it could be a distraction with their identity. So I sometimes think that when people are trying to live life, they have distractions. Yes. Distractions that come in their way. So it's like for the next 30 days, I'm going on a challenge myself where there's no TV, no sweets, no phone at work, no going back and forth with people, because I find myself sometimes, I'm like this big-hearted person. I care so much for people. So I'm like having to argue with this person to tell them, but now I'm in a space where I want to be at peace. I don't want to just help people. I want to be at peace with myself. Yeah. I want to be healthy. I want to live my life. I'm trying to go out there and do more running and invest in my businesses, my music. So the next 30 days, I'm going to see how it works and then try to keep going on for there, because my thing is I want to be successful. I don't want to just be able to push other people, and I'm not doing it for myself.
Yep.
And it's not too selfish to say, it's what I believe to make it out here is to be about yourself sometimes. Sometimes you have to be selfish and say, hey, I'm focused on me right now. I'm not focused on them right now. It's easy for us to focus on other people. It's hard for us to stay consistent and focus on ourselves. So, like we got these kids out here killing people because they have not developed and they're just going off of what they see. You got women out here trying to be husbands and wives and don't understand the meaning of a husband and wife. They see it on social media. They see the TikTokers. They see the creators creating and they think it's all sweet, but they don't know what goes on behind the camera.
Yep.
So we need to get out of social media for us to live how we need to live instead of just following what they tell us to do. Because they tell us that it's, they try to frown upon, like I said, frown when people denounce. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's a message from God. No matter how anybody wants to put it, they can say that, oh, it's not a message from God. They can say this, but that's
Between
not
that person.
Yeah,
and
that's
God, right.
that's not it's not your decision or your judgment to make.
Yep.
Like that person wants a certain lifestyle that God told them they need to live. Who are we to ignore God's word? We're nobody. So
Right.
I say it all the time. Social media tells us that we need to be these people. Social media tells, business owners, if you're not young, you're not lit, you're not turned, you won't make it out here. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
You can't listen to what social media tells us to be. The web tells us this. The blogs tells us what we need to be. But have we ever thought, what are we telling ourselves? That's why most people are not successful. Because what are we telling ourselves? We think because not many people support us that we need to move different. No, you don't need to move different. People will not support you your whole entire life. You got to go out there and find those people. You can't just sit here and wait. You make a social media page and say, I just started a business and expect people to follow. No, you got to go out there and go get it. You got to be a hustler for yours. So, yeah.
Well said. Well said. And another thing that I wanted to hit on, because when you were talking, I literally started thinking about it. I feel like sometimes too, like when you progress past the trauma and the hardships that you've been through, and you really start focusing, like honing in on self-improvement, your mindset shifts. Like you go from the survivor mindset to the thriver mindset. And one thing that I had to learn was, when you're in that place, that transition of becoming a thriver, you have to separate yourself from people that are still in survival mode, because it'll hinder you and it'll hold you back. And I'm the same as you. I have a big heart, and sometimes like when I'm making advancements in my business, when I'm doing new things, when new opportunities and doors are opening up, I have to almost hold myself back and be like, all right, Rex, you're making these advancements, but there's some people that you're used to seeing that aren't there yet, and they're not going to appreciate the same way that you're appreciating right now, and that'll hurt you. I know myself. Like if I'm expecting a certain answer and I don't get that, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. But one thing that I'm learning now is we're in a season of thriving. We're not in a season of surviving anymore. So keeping that at the forefront. How do you maintain that focus and that peace so that you don't become sidetracked or lose focus on what it is that you're working on?
So I had got into it with somebody this week, right? Somebody tried to pull me back, right? And I fell for it. I let my emotions get the best of me. Because I got upset with what somebody was saying, because anybody that knows me knows my heart, right?
Yeah.
And what the person was saying to me and judging me and telling me that this and that and labeling me. I said, you know what? I am childish. This person labeled me childish. I said, you know what? I'm childish for keeping you in my life and putting up with the nonsense that you give to me. Sometimes we put ourselves in situations where that we go through the same thing over and over again. And that's what I had to realize. I was like, man, I've been going through this with certain people in this frat for years since I got in. I've noticed this cycle with people where I've dealt with, you guys have heard it so many times because I sometimes talk to y'all about it. And I've gone with it, gone through it with sometimes, whether it's inside our chapter, outside our chapter. But one thing I'm realizing is that you don't have to put up with it.
No.
Literally, there's some times where you could be in a group chat, everybody could be talking. You don't have to say anything. You started by going to go open your mouth, and then when somebody says something to you, we get offended.
Yeah.
No, seriously, this is what happens. Sometimes you don't have to go make that post on social media. You don't have to go comment on what somebody else is doing. Just keep your mouth shut. Move away from it. Don't say anything. You don't got to say anything to a person. You don't got to say one thing to anybody. You know, like literally you can mind your business, get to your money, and that's just what it is. Like sometimes we try to, like, I think, try to carry everybody's problems. Us with big hearts, we try to carry the world's problems and carry it on our back, check for these people. But sometimes you got to check on yourself.
Yeah.
Check yourself and really be on a journey with yourself. It's hard to be isolated from people. It's hard to not want to reach out. But let me tell you something. If somebody wanted to reach out, they would. If people want you around, they would have you around. They wouldn't make excuses. Sometimes it's like I see certain things and people don't say anything about or invite me certain ways. And now I don't get angry at that thing. I'm okay with it because I don't want to be anywhere I'm not supposed to be. I don't want to be around certain people that sometimes people think like it's a common thing in Greek life. People want to be around the people that are cool. Oh, they got this going on. They doing this in a frat. But what are they doing outside? What are they going to do in the next 5 years? We need to focus. That's what we need to all focus on. What are we doing outside to better ourselves? Yep. It's the cool thing what's really cool is to be by yourself, to be in your own thoughts, or to be surrounded by people that want more or are pushing you to go get more. You know, I changed my situation so much in a year. I went from, this is between me and you, like, I mean, everybody's here now, but I went from making $30K yearly to twice as that. And I didn't think I could ever do it because of what I surrounded myself with. I thought that that's what I was going to be making forever. But as soon as I isolated, excommunicated myself from certain situations, and I'm still doing cutting, I started to get job offers, job deals, and really honed in on one thing. It's really working out for me.
Yeah.
So, like, you can really shed people off, but you have to be willing to do it. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to cut people off because this person's been in your life. You don't want to seem this way, but who cares what you're going to look like to others?
Yeah.
You have to care about yourself and make those decisions for you. You can have a big heart, but it's okay to walk away from people. People will shit on you if you let them. It is our faults when we get shitted on constantly or disrespected. It's not the other person's fault. We can't say this thing is, woe is me. I said that for years. Well, damn, I'm wondering where I went wrong. And I had to wake up and see that, hey, I am the problem. I am letting people literally take a dump on me, walk away, and then come back, take another one, and then walk away, do another thing.
Yep.
We have to be able to clear it out, clear that out, flush it away. Once they flush, let them go. Some people are meant to be in the past or some moment in your life. Seasons change. We need to change with the seasons.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So like now, I'm okay with letting people go. I'm okay with the thing of when I feel like something's off or weird to me, I move them away.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't support my marriage, can say anything jealous about my wife, me, or just what I got going on. I don't want to be around you. If you can't be happy for me when I'm winning, and you can only come around me when I'm losing or kick me while I'm down, I don't want you around me. I don't want you around. I don't want you around when I'm down to pull me back to what I wasn't doing before. I don't want you around me. I want you to be away. That's why I don't associate with certain people. In my fraternity, I don't go out my way no more. There's certain people I don't deal with no more because there's a life that they want to live. They want to do that. They want to be this way. They want to be that have that behavior, however they want to be. I'm okay with it. But you can't do it in my space. I'm happy for you. Whatever you're doing, I wish you the best. But you just can't eat at my table. My table is an exclusive thing. Yeah. So that's where I look at it now. I want to move like that. I don't I am going to be where I need to be, not because social media tells me or everybody's rooting for me or I need to prove to people that I've excommunicated. I do it on a daily basis. I excommunicate from people and I keep them at bay. You know, I don't need to have a thousand followers or however many followers or clout chasers behind me to know that I'm doing my thing. I do it and I do what needs to be done. I don't want nobody to make me feel like when I reach out to you, it's fanned out. You know, I'm fanned out reaching out to people. There's some people that you have around you that do not want you to win, that God will point to you that person's not it. And he will stunt your growth till you get there. So I'm all about this year cutting people. I don't have to have no conversation with you. I don't need to hash out anything with you. Cut off. Bye. Go. You know, I don't need that to tell you or stand on it. I know in my head, you're done. And I move on. And that's it.
And I'll tell you, when your peace and your prosperity becomes a priority, your focus and your mindset shifts, and you're like, all right, this is so important for me that I mean, you said it, but like the three main concepts that I found out to really be successful as a thriver are maturity, setting effective boundaries, and prioritizing your peace. And when you're able to do those three things, you could shift from being a survivor to a thriver. And everything that you just said was right on target with all the stuff that like I've been thinking about and dealing with over the past couple of weeks. Because again, like when you come from a place where you have a big heart and you want everyone else around you to succeed, you can't have the desire to win more than the people around you. If they have a mindset of losing and you have a mindset of winning, you just have to separate yourself and get around other winners. And once you do that, the sky's the limit.
And that's the thing, right? I have gave so much. I talked about in a song where I've gave so much, and I love my frat. Like I love that. That's one of my like things where I can really talk about now. I can talk about things in my earlier life where if I would have never gave so much to my friends back in the day, like I would have never went to military school. You know, I would have never got in trouble. I would have never been doing the stupid things, riding for people that were not riding for me. You know, I let people come in my home and it led to me almost losing my life. Losing my life. You know, somebody putting a knife to my neck and trying to take me away. And almost, you know, it could have went a lot worse. You know, but I'm grateful that it didn't. But my thing is now where it's like, I try not to give myself to people because like now, yes, I want everybody to be happy around here, but what about me? We can't, some people, social media makes you feel selfish for asking, what about me? You know, sometimes people will go get quotes and I see sometimes, I got to focus on me, or I see certain people talk about, you know, people are this and that and the third, and they are those same exact people. Sometimes we have to get rid of those type of people that can't ever take accountability because sooner or later, we're not able to self-reflect and do what we need to do to be better. If we're around people that want us to stay stagnant, we are going to stay stagnant. People that want to remind us about drama or writing for them, then what it is, it's just like I said, like the frat I'm coming back to. It's like I had spent so much time fighting for people that were not fighting for me. That if I saw them today, they would act like they didn't know me. Like I had one guy that I fought for to be in the fraternity. You know, I seen a guy like at a homecoming and he just acted like, you know, I was a stranger to him, you know, and I fought for him to be in our fraternity. I've fought for people and put people in certain positions and they have disrespected me. But I have let them disrespect me. I don't blame them. I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem with myself for allowing such spirits to be in my space. I have myself for allowing myself to go out my way when there were signs not to go out your way and help certain people. And it has held me back. I have gone out my way to show up for people. I remember I was, you know, always going to the opposite campus. No shade against any of them. I was always going to the opposite campus. I was always going here around in our state just to support. and my grades suffered for it. Nobody knew that story
Yeah.
until I told my brother, one of my good friends, L.A., my brother, like really my brother. Until I told him, at the time I was like, yo, bro, like I really walked to school. I used to walk to school all the time, and that's what I sacrificed. Like my grades kind of slipped. Y'all remember in fall, my grades slipped crazy because I was trying to support y'all on top of them. I was trying to support up there. I was trying to keep all of us together. But the thing is, I wasn't keeping myself together. That was the problem where I went wrong in Greek life. Because I had good grades. I had the grades. I had my mind, straight. But when I kind of got around certain people, their energies rubbed off on me. And it's like I kind of felt stagnant. And not until I left Delaware is where I got a clear head. So sometimes you have to leave your environment, leave what you're used to, leave from loving to help people and get outside of that.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is.
Man, listen, this has been a really, really productive conversation, and it flowed. It was really authentic, really natural, and I really appreciate you, for being open and vulnerable enough to share all this stuff that you've been through leading up to this point, because I guarantee you there's someone out there that's going to watch this and you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is exactly what I need to hear right on time. So one last thing before we wrap up. If you had any piece of advice to anyone that is on the fence, whether it's with music, with business, with their marriage, what's one piece of, overarching message or piece of advice that you would give them before we wrapped up today?
Okay. For anybody that is, again, in a marriage, just make sure to remember you got to compromise. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay not to have it all figured out. Build with your partner. You don't have to have all everything figured out.
Yeah.
Things are not going to be figured out. That's whether you have it all together or don't have it all together. I think it's sometimes when I hear people say they got to wait to get married and have it all together. Nah, if you love somebody and you got that love and you can see building with them, make it happen.
Yep.
As for anybody, like I said, I know you didn't mention, I just didn't want to forget, anybody that's joining a frat or sorority, I'm not against anybody joining. I love my frat.
Yeah.
I love my frat so much. I love it to the point where I have sacrificed so much to be inside of my fraternity. But do not make it all of you. Do not carry everybody. Don't try to fix other people's problems when your problems are not fixed. Yeah. Understand that you're their brother. You're there to love and support them. And that's all. You do not need to go out of your way, because I did that for certain people. And it didn't work, and it's not the frat's fault. It's my fault. Yeah. I don't blame myself, but I'm telling you guys, do not put it on you. There's other people in the frat. The frat's been around for 100+ something years. Whether it's not just my frat, it's everybody's.
Yeah.
Has been around for 100+ years. They will be okay if you take a step back. It is okay for them. And then for anybody that's a business owner, believe, and get to it. Just get to it. Like, you have to understand that you won't have everything figured out. It's just like a marriage, relationship, anything. You will not have it figured out, but God will give you the keys to figure it out if you're willing to be a seeker of knowledge. That's what we got. Me and Rex got from being in our frat, being a seeker of knowledge. We're in the frat and we're brothers, but we are always seekers of knowledge, trying to learn more in life. Outside of, take it outside the frat. It's like learning more and willing to learn more and be humble enough to learn. I'm humble enough to learn from people who have been business owners for a short period of time, because I can pick up something like a young boy. I think it's Gordy Cloven. I think it's called. But
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So Gordy Cloven, I had paid the young man, and he gave me some gems. I was like, "Yo, man, let's work together." He was just going to give me some tips on what I did wrong, because I jumped in business head first. Yeah. I didn't do it. So I paid him. I said, yo, let's work together. And he gave me some great tips and things like that. And the execution, there's some things I didn't execute on my end. But the thing is that he took his time and we talked. We had a great talk. So he's a great guy. Great young guy. I believe his name Eddie. I think it is Eddie. Okay. Met him a couple times, and he's come out support my business anytime he's seen it. Great guys doing great things on DSU and a great clothing business as well too. So just understand to be a seeker of knowledge, man. I learned so much on that conversation I had with him that I'm going to be able to use today. I learned so many things that I executed and done little things, and it helped. But just be willing to learn, man. Learn from people, man. Like, just be willing to learn, man. That's just what the most important thing is. Just being okay and just learning that business has its bad days and good days.
Sure.
That's what I want to say. So, and just for anybody that wants to be an artist, musician, and you feel like you're not getting the plays, it takes time to build a catalog.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to build a catalog. So understand, just because people are not listening to your catalog now, keep dropping, because a person might like a song and it takes that one song for them to go back and look at that catalog. Mm-hmm. Not social media is not everything. Do not let social media tell you that you're not successful when you're dropping music and nobody's hearing you. People are listening. Just keep putting yourself out there, putting yourself in opportunities, going to open mics, trying to be in live performances, doing those music videos. One of those things will pay off and get you to where you need to be. You get what you put in. With anything, business, music, anything, you get what you put in. Marriage, same thing. You get what you put in. That's it.
Y'all, this has been Mr. Kelvin Laosebikan. I will be putting all of his pages, links to his pages down in the description below. Make sure y'all connect with him if y'all need a vendor for slushies. It's hot out. I know y'all need some vendors, so definitely connect with him. Quality shirts. I wish we had some so we could show off the quality, but it's okay. And be sure to check out his music too, because again, like, he has literally put his all into this. So I can't wait for y'all to connect with him. Be on the lookout. We have some very huge announcements coming out in relations to the business. So I can't wait to share that with y'all in a couple weeks. So follow us if you aren't already at King's Tales Official. Again, lots of great updates coming. But without further ado, continue to work on yourself. Make that transition from going to a survivor to a thriver. And as we learned in church yesterday during the message, your big ideas need bold spaces. So walk into those bold spaces, be unapologetic, have enough faith that what it is that you're starting is going to help someone else get the solution that they need to move forward. And that's all that we got. This is King Sales signing out.